From the time flies to the clockwork droid, the Slitheen to the trickster. This Doctor has been on quite a journey so far. And that journey is far from over. Today we're joined by a very familiar face, someone who has captured the hearts of thousands. The dashing man in purple and the kindest, most talented person I've had the pleasure of working with. Our very own Purple Doctor himself, Dominic G Martin.
Hello, you
Hi.
little red. How you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good. I'm just, yeah, lovely to be here, and I'm liking the lighting that you have in the background. It's not
Yeah,
like
it felt
it's my
right.
favorite color or anything.
Yeah, we have purple lighting, we have
Absolutely.
a purple nebula, we have Dom Sonic just nicely on display right there.
I've got a little aesthetic thing just on my other monitor, just to make this little more ambience like.
Little,
That's not even a word, but it doesn't matter.
yeah. It's just a stock colour of purple, isn't it?
But basically, yes, with a little bit of vibrating here and there, and just a little bit of whites just flitting in and around. You know how it is.
This is going to be just a general little discussion with Dom. It's not going to be an interview. Why do you think you'd be good for this job, Dom?
Well, you see here, I am very good at doing things like I can do basic maths, but
You do doctors.
um,
Are you
I
good
do
at
doctoring stuff. I am okay at least, you
Oh,
know.
are you good at pointing things? It's very important.
Y- yes, I am.
Right. There you go. Interview's over.
Did I get the job, Gov?
Yes, yes, but you're about five to 10 years too too late for the interview.
No.
You've already done it, mate. You've already done it.
Oh no.
So obviously I know how all this started, but for
Yeah.
our audience, they have no clue. So let's start right at the beginning.
Hmm.
How did you get involved with DW 2012?
Well, you see, uh, oh man, we're going back some time. So I
Was it
remember the good old times of going to Birmingham MCM and then getting introduced to yourself. And then, I mean, we started talking a lot, and then you asked me, because you got a particular good vibe off me, if I'd be interested in being the doctor after you. And this was about 2014, wasn't it?
Yeah,
About that,
March
yeah.
2014 it was.
So
Yeah.
you were in the heat of doing series two.
Yeah.
And
And I
so
was already
this
thinking
is,
about ending it.
yeah, yeah. Yes, you already had this very much planned far closer to the start of the process
Yeah,
than
yeah.
we are now.
It was
So which is,
always there. Yeah.
yes, it was always part of the plan. And it's amazing that we pretty much pulled it off. So
Yeah.
I'm very, very,
We're doing well.
very, it's yeah, we've done very well. Honestly, this has been one of the best experiences I've had, and I'm very, very proud, as you well know, to be a part of this. And
Oh, I'm
it's been
glad.
remarkable. It's been remarkable.
Thanks, Dom. I'll slip you the tenner later, yeah.
Thank you very much.
No, I think like when I first met you, there was such like a presence to you. Like the way you composed yourself, the way you introduced yourself. And it was just like there was this like kind atmosphere to you and this confidence and I don't know, it kind as soon as you said hello, it was literally like, oh my God, I've just met my future self. It was such like a weird, bizarre moment, like just having that straight away. And like I remember as soon as I got home and you added me on Facebook and we spoke a bit, I was like, I need to ask him. I need to ask
Hmm.
him. I was like, I don't think I would ever find anyone else as good or half as good, I should even say, than yourself. So I'm
Oh,
glad our
honestly,
paths
yeah,
crossed at that Comic Con. Well, Series 5 would have been very different.
exactly. And not to mention the fact that you've been a very good friend as well. Like it's just been
Yeah.
a person, then you've been very, very good to me.
Oh,
It's been a
likewise,
pleasure,
likewise.
and obviously Meg as well. Can't leave her out since I've
Yeah,
known her
can't leave.
almost as long as you.
Yeah. I mean, do you remember like back, was it 2000 I think it was like Collectomania 2014,
Hmm.
where you were dressed as the 11th Doctor and I brought my red coat and I said to you, "Oh, do you want to try
Yeah,
it on?" And you just weirdly had that sort of regeneration outfit on.
yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, because you had like the grey waistcoat You just didn't have the
Mm,
time. And it was like so
no.
bizarre because that's the regeneration outfit we kind of went with.
Yeah, it is. Which is really weird looking back. That photo, yeah, I remember that photo vividly, and it is good foreshadowing, as it
Yeah.
were, because it is exactly like, minus the tie, how the regeneration outfit looked in at the end of Fall of the Doctor,
Yeah.
and it is very, very odd just seeing that as almost because we hadn't filmed anything at that point.
No, no. Yeah, I mean, you came in what, 2016 when you filmed your first ever scene as
Final
Purple
Enigma, wasn't it?
Final Enigma. Yeah, but we filmed that whilst because you did some camera work for us, didn't you, for
Yeah,
Mysterious Calling?
that's the one. Yeah,
That was the
yeah.
same day we did sort of like Dom's like post credit scene. Yeah,
Yeah, which
yeah,
was very fun. I remember that arriving in costume and it was like two doctors on set. Oh my God.
yeah. It was very strange, wasn't it? Very strange thing to sort of like to have happen. It was like, oh, this is weird. And like to have you filming me, that was even weirder.
Mm.
Like my future doctors filming the past doctor. It's quite,
Yeah. And then it came then I mean that was basically roles reversed when it comes to series 5, so it was very
yeah,
fascinating.
yeah. And then of course you also played the Ice Warrior in Fall of the Doctor.
God, that yeah, I nearly died.
Hey.
So
Yeah. Sun guys, it's not fun.
it was a very warm day and that suit was very warm.
It was, yes. It was all made of foam, so it was nice and insulating.
It looked good on camera, but wearing it was a different story.
Yeah,
And I mean, there were a lot of us on that day. That was a very big filming day as well.
it was.
And I remember Ben was in the Cyberman costume, wasn't he? Wasn't
He was,
Ben?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he was. He was also cooking.
Yeah. I think we all were.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we were all, and you were flinging about as well because obviously it was the war zone, wasn't it? So,
Yeah, it was mad. Crazy.
oh, it was
But
insane.
yeah, let's get back to the Purple Doctor because no one cares about the Ice Warriors, everyone cares about the Purple.
Reminiscence.
So when you had the idea in your head on how to play the Doctor, what do you think makes Purple like so different to every other incarnation of the Doctor?
I think when I was trying to come up with ways to play Purple, I very much didn't quite take as much inspiration from the Doctors as I did with like other characters that I'd really enjoyed in other properties that I'd watched. Like, for example, trying to get that confident atmosphere from characters like, say, Yugi Moto from Yu-Gi-Oh! And Spike Spiegel in Cowboy Bebop. It was those sorts of characters that because I'm a big anime fan. I will make anybody who knows me will know that I am a weeb. So I do enjoy those sorts of things. So obviously I know all the doctors and all their behaviors off by heart as like you. And I didn't want to be too similar to somebody. When people say that they can see vibes of certain doctors in my performance, that is a compliment because that means I'm just being natural about it by accident.
Yeah, there's
Um,
no sort of like you haven't sat there and gone, oh, I would do this exactly like the third Doctor. I would do this exactly like the sixth Doctor. It's very much sort of like a natural thing that comes, isn't it?
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
I'm going about the persona just as natural as I really can and just do my best to pay homage to the part that has inspired me for many years. And that's what the kind of ethos I took into playing Purple, and you can kind of see that grow. Especially, I mean, if anybody remembers the original take of How Time Flies, you can see there are notable differences
It was an
compared to
original.
that.
Huh? I don't remember this.
We can try to hide it, but people know. But yeah, you can see different differences in my performance as time has gone on, as I become more confident in the role, and I feel like at this point. I'm very much I know who Purple is, and he's my boy. He's our baby. I we know what to do with him, and
Yeah.
I very much have that characterization just down pat. And hopefully that shows as not being too derivative of any other Doctor, because clearly that is not the intent. As it's something that I'm sure is the same for you, and your door's just open, which implies
That
Piper might
was
have entered your
Piper.
room.
The Piper has entered.
Oh, bless.
Yeah. I find like when you come back to playing the Doctor after it's been like weeks, months, or like a year, do you find it's like so easy to just slip back into that? It's like
Yeah, more or
no thought
less.
process at all. It's just action straight into it.
Yeah, it's kind of like putting on a glove, and you can just immediately. I mean, say putting on a glove. I do wear a glove, but yeah, um,
You do, yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's over there somewhere.
I suppose that's kind of like what's so unique about Purple is the fact that he's had so many flaws in this incarnation from like the bad eyes and then
Mm,
losing his hand and then the
mm.
trust issues with Meg and it's like man's been through quite a lot, hasn't he?
Yes, he really has. He's been through quite a significant amount in the episodes that have aired, and I mean, oh, he just deals with it in his stride. He gets knocked down, but he tries to pick himself back up again
Yeah.
into and keeping on being assertive, confident, even when his enemies try to break him, like the toy maker. He still manages to claw his way back up from the pit.
Yeah, yeah. I think that was so important about your doctor is having him come in and be like, oh, let's give a doctor that isn't fully equipped with every other doctor has. Like every other doctor has perfect vision and both hands. What happens
Mm.
if this doctor loses a hand and can't regenerate one? It's like,
Yeah,
and then just seeing how the doctor relied so much on his hand, his eyesight, his sonic screwdriver, all these gadgets and gizmos, and like you say, in like the toy maker's part you see him at his lowest point and he's able to sort of rise up from that and be like, I don't need all these tools to be the doctor because I know who I am and I don't need all these things. Yeah, I think it's
precisely.
definitely a nice character journey that Purple's been on to sort of see that development of
Mm.
his character.
Absolutely. I think it's a journey of courage that he has been on, a journey of courage and determination. And I
Yeah.
feel like that is a very, hopefully it's a very almost inspiring journey in that sort of doctory nature.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
I'd
obviously there were,
also say it's quite a journey about reassurance as well, isn't it? Like in his own sort of
yeah,
confidence as well. Like just seeing his confidence grow throughout the series. And yeah, he gets knocked down, but he comes back stronger.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I think it's really touching. I think it's really touching and it's really cool. And it was really great to act that out and just feel what the character is going through as I perform it and just feeling those every single stage of how he's feeling, how he's developing, how he's going to respond to these actions that he is being put through, that you're putting him through.
that's okay.
Um, and
Your fairness, you
I,
made him half blind.
this is true. That's, um, but no, it is honestly, I think I really like those quirks to him. I think it makes him unique. I think
Yeah,
it makes him just putting him at a disadvantage, and he ends up utilizing these things into an advantage, and it just pushes him further. And I think it's really cool.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I do agree. Yeah, I mean, like you just mentioned about how you never sort of like copied any bits off any of the doctors, but was there any sort of like little traits that you were like, oh, that might be quite cool? Because I always kind of felt like when I did Little Red, uh, I'd always try and incorporate like the John Pertwee scratch or the Tennant ear. Like
Mm.
there was like little bits like that, like deliberate nods. Did you sort of like have any of those, or was yours just like it'll all come naturally?
I mean, sometimes I have caught myself on occasion doing little traits that some doctors have done in the past. Like sometimes there are probably many takes where the occasional well slips in.
I was gonna say this. It's so difficult when you read it in a script and the doctor says yeah or well.
Yeah.
It's so hard not to like. I found when I've been doing it, I've been going, oh, I can't do that. That's too tenant. And I have to
Mm.
do another take. 'Cause I'm like, no, it's too tenant. Yeah, but it's interesting. Like I say, you've picked up on that as well. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe I should just
I
stop
think
writing
we've all done it at some point.
some wells.
No, that's the thing. You can't stop using well. It's a doctorish word.
Yeah,
Um, no, but I feel like sometimes these things just fall out of us because we love the Doctor, and those when we're playing the Doctor, I guess those sort of bits will just come naturally because that's how it flows.
Yeah.
That's
I
how we
feel like
just
it's
be.
quite a subconscious thing, isn't it?
Mm,
Like you watch all these iconic actors on the TV as Doctor Who, and then when you're playing Doctor Who, it's sort of like those little bits are inside you and have changed you as a person. So naturally that
yeah.
comes out in the performance when you're playing Doctor Who.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. I mean, sometimes you don't even need to be playing the Doctor. Sometimes it just happens anyway, and
yeah.
you're like,
Yeah.
oh dear, I'm coming across like a real nerd.
Obviously, purple. He's iconic for his iconic purple. You know, that's his thing, his vibe.
Yeah.
Can you remember, like going back all those years ago, that when you first put on that costume, did you go, this is the Doctor? Like, was there like a Doctor moment that like hit hard for you?
Yeah, I mean, when I was designing the costume, I wanted something that would be somewhat distinct. And naturally, I was very much inspired by, firstly, David Tennant in Jessica Jones, and of course, Matt Smith as Series 7B outfit. So, immediately from those, purple already being my favorite color, I was like, okay, that's gonna do it. So, when I first assembled the costume altogether in its very basic form that you see, because I didn't have the race code at that point when we were doing Final Enigma. And I think it was that very morning when I realized I'm going to be filming Docky Who today. And I'm dressed as my version of Docky Who. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh, yes. I am the Doctor, aren't I? And then we took those pictures of me outside the TARDIS. And I think when I saw those pictures, like me with a hand outstretched, that's when it really started to kick in and set in. Like, oh yeah, I'm doing this. This is awesome. This
Yeah.
is radical. And yeah, I mean that was very much yeah, that was my personal I am the Doctor all those years ago, and it's just sort of gone to new levels ever since.
Yeah. Can you remember where Radical came from?
I believe a long time ago, a long time ago, the original title for the Purple Doctor was going to be the Radical Doctor,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then
I
we
think it was up
promptly just,
until time, How Time Flies. Like before that came out, it was kind of like he was like, "Oh, could we change it to the Purple Doctor?"
yeah, because I felt like that would just be more all-encompassing, and Radical fit better as a catchphrase rather than a name, because I felt like I think just being called the Purple Doctor fits in with your Little Red Doctor just so much better because we're going with the color scheme and keeping it unified.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's funny how like your catchphrase has been radical, but I feel like you've only said it like twice, if that.
Yeah, yeah, I've barely said it, which is fair because I mean Matt Smith very rarely said Geronimo, and that's
Yeah.
still attributed to
Yeah,
him.
I think like in small doses, I think it kind of it works so much more than having every episode. It's like radical,
Mm,
radical, radical. It's like it's quite nice to sort of do like just one.
yeah.
It's like your Doctor's theme as well. Like as an editor, like I chose not to sort of put that in every episode. It was sort of
Mm,
like that theme was designed for moments
mm,
what you get at the end of How Time Flies because he's the Doctor. Uh,
yeah.
and I can't remember my own episode at this point, so this is terrible, but I'm fairly sure it was in the bit with the toy maker as well, like when
Oh
he
yes, yes. When he's
feel like
becoming like
it was in
radical,
there.
yeah.
Unless I'm thinking of
I
a
feel like it.
yeah, I'm sure
I
it
feel
is.
like it is, yeah.
Uh,
No, but I think it's impactful when it's used sparingly because
yes.
then the audience knows this is a moment. This is like a proper doctory moment. You don't need the theme playing like every episode. You don't, or every episode, every moment. But
Yeah.
when I think it's nice that they feel rewarded when they do hear it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I remember a few years back I did like a little edit of every time you came on screen, your theme just started playing. And then when
Now
we
that's
when,
oh
when
my
we
God.
put it on the flatmate shot when you walk by the window, it looks so menacing. It was like this just changes the vibe.
Ugh,
Right.
okay.
I was like, yeah, maybe not.
No, 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 no. We won't be doing that then, shall we?
Okay, so we're going to turn to some fan questions now.
Oh, lovely
So
fans.
I asked you guys to ask Dom whatever question you wanted to ask, and I would ask Dom in this little discussion. Um, so yeah, thank you to our members and our patrons who have contributed to the fan questions, and we
Hmm.
shall begin with question one. Dom,
Huzzah.
Timeless Bush asks, "What has been your favorite scene to film and why?"
Oh my God. Okay. That is a good question because there are so many scenes that I'm really proud of. I think, well, the first one that comes to mind would be the sewer scene with the time flies, because that's like the first time the Doctor is like proper coming into his own and really just taking on the threat. He's got the karma. He's doing, uh, especially in the newer version where we have that time stop moment, and
Yeah.
he's like walking around and he's just thinking and pacing. It just felt so awesome, and I just love the bit where he's just looking at Megan and he's just thinking like you feel every emotion that he's going through. And then he resolves to take down his foe. And I feel filming that felt really, really cool. And I would it's definitely one of my favorite scenes. Another favorite scene I would say would be against the Toymaker. Just, I mean, there were so many scenes in that episode that I really enjoyed doing, but acting against Alan was awesome. He's a great talent, and I just found myself really having to up my own game even further to match up with him. So when we get to the big finale, the final bit of the chess game, and then we're like monologuing against each other, which learning paragraphs ain't easy, folks. Um, I felt really
Learning
proud of
how to play
myself.
chess backwards as well. Remember when we had to sort of like do the winning game and then reverse it, and then you had to remember to put those pieces in that order so Alan would have
Yeah.
you in check.
Yes, exactly. It was crazy. But we got it done. And I'd say, well, the final favorite scene is one that you guys have yet to see. So I will keep it stum. But if anybody wants to know, I'll say it on social media after it's aired.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think my favorite scene of you as just acting your heart out
Hmm.
is in part three.
Yeah,
Is in
yeah.
part three. There's that one scene on the dunes.
Mm-hmm.
Give us the movement. That scene is just you can feel that when I edit
Yeah,
that and I look back at it, I'm like, this is just so good. So you can feel everything. It's like wow,
yeah.
powerful.
Honestly, and just being able to play a double role was awesome and just really took like Meg and I had to put all of ourselves into this,
Yeah,
and I think it rocked. So yeah, again, part three is a lot of gems in there.
it does. It does. Coming soon. Coming soon. All right, on to question two from Shadow Jedi Knight. Got your name right this
Ah,
time. They ask, what is your favorite thing about your costume?
uh, excuse the police sirens, they've nearly found me.
Oh dear.
Um,
Quick, you've got minutes.
my favorite thing,
Is it the talent police? Yeah.
oh you, um, I would say probably the collar pin would be my favorite aspect because it's the one thing that I can say about my costume that is truly unique and that no other Doctor has ever worn.
Yeah.
And I mean, at the moment, as of airing, who knows? Billy Piper may wear one, you never know. Um, I really just think I just came up with the idea of it by examining pictures of various because I was trying to get inspiration and whatnot, trying to figure out how do I make my costume unique. And I saw this picture of David Bowie once, and he was wearing a collar pin, and I was like, that's the vibe. That's the idea. This is classy. This is kind of like mod fashion 60s, someone in the 70s, but paired up with everything, using this instead of neckwear just lends to a good sense of visual continuity and just like this is the thing that holds my doctor's costume together and makes it just stylistically one of its own, really.
Yeah.
Like you have a very unique red coat, and I have a unique like I have a collar pin. Those I believe like are the most unique parts of our doctor's outfits because they are you can't really get them anywhere.
Yeah.
In other terms of I mean, obviously you could get collar pins all over the place, but not in terms of the doctor.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's important that like your doctor was such a contrast to my doctor.
Yeah,
Obviously me just always wearing a necktie. I do remember like when you first was putting together that outfit, you were like, I don't want a necktie. And I thought you were gonna go
yeah.
just normal collar buttoned up like a Capaldi or whether you have open collar, but then you was like, no, no, I want a neck pin. And I was like,
Mm.
interesting. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It just felt unique for the Doctor, and it's something that has stuck ever since.
that's good. That's good. I say it's your thing. You put it on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
And it works very nicely.
I like to think so.
And we're now on to the final question from Jackie Not John, and they ask, what advice would you give to the fans in this community who want to become doctors themselves but are still anxious about putting themselves out there?
Hmm. I would say it is definitely, it can be a nerve-wracking thing that you have to go through when you're putting together, like you have an idea of what you want to do, but of course, sometimes you might be frightened of the online sphere, what they might think. And of course, lo and behold, some idiot on the internet would just call your stuff cringe. I mean, honestly, there I mean, it goes without saying that they are usually idiots who just have no respect for anything anybody does. But I think it's always good to try and put yourself out there and try and make yourself try and be creative for yourself. I think it's the way that you'll allow yourself to feel fulfilled. And in terms of advice, what I would say is honestly try not to do it alone for one thing, and you can make it a collaborative effort with friends and whatnot. But I mean, the Doctor Who community is a good way to make friends because there are many people like obviously like myself and Luke we met through this, and I think it is definitely a journey of creative growth that you can put yourself on. Like it can help you when it comes to growing your skills in terms of acting or editing and that sort of thing. You can use it as a springboard to really hone your skills in your craft and even go on to do other things like indie films or things like that. And just you can use creating fan projects and becoming Doctor Who, as it were, to really just further your own creative abilities. And I think that is one of the best parts about it. So I would definitely recommend to anybody, if you have a passing interest in wanting to create fan content, I would say absolutely do it because honestly, it is the best way to learn. And you will improve, get better, and you will feel accomplished. You'll be able to just look back on something and be like, oh, I did that. That's cool. Even if it's like really amateur, whatnot, there's nothing wrong with that. It's still something that you've done. You've still done something more that you can really be proud of yourself for. So I would really just say, give it your finest shot, and it will reward you. It is a rewarding thing because you will find yourself growing both as a person and as a creative. I'd say go for it.
Yeah, I think over time, like you say, anxieties surrounding doing stuff like that, it does get smaller and smaller. Your
Mm,
confidence does boost. I remember when I first started, I was just like very, very quiet, very, very shy. Didn't want to do a lot of the stuff that I do now, sort of thing, like
mm,
filming on streets and stuff. It was so like nerve-wracking. But like you say, it's important, like with friends, to do it as a group of friends, to just have fun. Um, take out the whole sort of like take out the whole doing it for views, doing it for this, doing it for that. Just do it because it's fun
absolutely.
and because you've got
Yeah.
friends to enjoy it with. That's all it is
Yeah.
at the end of the day, isn't it?
Exactly.
All good fun.
Exactly. Good fun.
Right, that's the end of the fan questions. And I'm going to ask you now, Dom.
Mm.
Is there any villain that you would like Purple to face?
I mean, I think, well, obviously the trailer has one, which would be the Daleks, obviously, the legendary villains, and of course, any Doctor should face the Daleks at least once. And I would also say, if I were to, outside of what we covered in the series, obviously, I think. Again, at the risk of sounding generic, I would love him to come face to face with the Cybermen,
Yeah.
because the Cybermen are my favorite villain. They have such body horror to them, and they're just so grisly, and but they have their hive mind and everything, and I just find them such a fascinating villain because of how they work and how what they used to be. They used to be people usually, and these people have just wanted to mutilate and modify themselves in order to keep surviving, but becoming something else in the process. And I just find them so viscerally fascinating, and I love them. And yeah, so Daleks and Cybermen. I mean, I think it's just the big three, really. Daleks, Cybermen, the Master. The thing with Purple as well is because he's done a very creative thing of doing like outside of those. He's going for like more avant-garde villains that you don't really see in many fan films, like the Clockwork Droids or like the Slitheen. Like we brought back the Slitheen, which is amazing. And of course, we we did the Toy Maker technically before the modern show did.
Yeah, bro.
Um, we got there first, and yeah, he has already faced a pretty vicious rogues gallery. So I think the only thing that awaits him really now is the big three of the Daleks, the Cybermen, and the Master. So I think those are the ideal
It's
ones
quite
to.
funny, I find that Purple has faced like the Toy Maker and the Trickster. Like
Mm.
we were doing the Pantheon thing way before us
Oh,
first started it.
we were, weren't we? So when you think about it like that, it's just like, ah,
That's me. I think with Purple's era, it was important to give you sort of legacy Doctor Who characters,
mm,
but it was also important to create the new villains as well. And like,
yeah,
you've had the Time Flyers, you've had the movement,
mm,
and whilst it doesn't seem like a lot, it's still like, it's.
yeah, it's
I think,
still something though.
yeah, to have 9 episodes. I'm so proud to say 9 episodes. Like, it's the first time I've ever said 9 episodes in this.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think to have 9 episodes and to sort of space out two originals and then like what, three, four class. It depends what you count because the Cybermen have been
yeah,
and we have done the Sontarans, but you haven't properly faced them. So it's like,
yeah. So it's that awkward middle area of like other characters have faced them within the same episode,
yeah,
but Purple himself hasn't directly faced them, but he's faced an awful lot of other
yeah,
stuff.
and the Weeping Angel as well. She's
Yeah, the Reaping Angel, which is such a cool sequence.
and we've had Oods,
Yeah, beautiful. It's good. Oh, the
yeah,
Yudes. Oh,
even the Vok robots, of all
and the
things.
Volk robots were like didn't even when I started, I'd never expected to be in the same scene as a Vok robot, let alone being
Me
operated on by
neither.
one.
I never expected to do the Vok robots, but it made
And you made the bloody thing.
yeah. Yeah. I said like when we first started, I think the one rule was that Series 5 would be sort of no Daleks, no Cybermen,
Mm.
no Master, no Valyard, no Gallifrey. Because we'd done that for the
It was
last
yeah,
4 or 5 years prior, and it was like we want this to be
yeah,
different and new. And
exactly. I mean, this I think it has a very unique edge to it. The fact I think it's good that if we do end up covering those villains in the future, I think it's good that we've had this basis of having like the Doctor and in Series 5 having faced these villains that say these that you wouldn't usually see,
yeah,
and they're still painting them as much of a threat because
yeah,
they're not. It's not like they're B tier list villains as you would say for Spider-Man and stuff like that. They're still like big threats to the Doctor, and that has to be respected as such. Like those, like the Trickster. That is a he may not have been in Doctor Who, but he is easily a Doctor Who villain because of just how powerful he is. And he is like seriously, seriously powerful. And I really think that I mean the model show should bring him back, but bring him into the fold. Um, but regardless. I'm really proud of how we've covered him. And Most Hated Man was an insanely intense episode because of the Trickster.
Yeah,
And I think, like, yeah, it is really, really astounding just how much impact these villains can have when they've had not so much exposure.
yeah, yeah. I agree with that. I agree with that. We're going to move on now, Dom, to the rapid fire round of
Oh,
questions.
rapid fire. Okay.
So there's only four, so don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Are you ready, sir?
Yes, ready.
It's not going to be easy, so I do apologize.
Oh boy.
Favorite classic Doctor?
Jesus. Okay. Tom Baker. I'm generic, I know. Colin or Tom Baker.
Daleks or Cybermen?
Subman.
Favorite villain you face as the Purple Doctor?
Oh boy. Trickster.
And guilty pleasure Doctor Who episode?
Leisure Hive.
Really?
Yeah. I
Interesting.
love the Leisure Hive. It's such a fun little story. I mean, it has that insanely bloated sequence where it's just batting on Brighton Beach.
Yeah.
But
Oh, that
I
goes on
think,
forever. That does. That goes on forever.
yeah.
That's like the whole of the first episode. It's just that one shot.
I know. I said, like, whose idea was it to start off like that? Are you insane?
And
But
K9 going
I
after the ball, being like a stereotypical dog. It's like, why?
Oh no, that was just John Nathan Turner's utter contempt for K9 just showing through right there and then.
Yeah,
But no, Leisure Hive, absolutely a an episode that I could definitely put on at any time.
fair enough. Each to their own, each to their own.
Hmm.
Dom, it has been an absolute pleasure to sit down and talk to you and chat all about the Purple Doctor. And Doctor Who Time Crisis Part 3 is coming later this month. Do you have any closing comments on the story?
Oh man,
No
well, I
spoilers, no
think
spoilers.
no spoilers, of course, but it is. I think the Time Crisis trilogy as a whole is one of the biggest projects that like I've personally ever been a part of. And I mean, taking that just that trilogy in isolation is probably the absolute best thing that we've done. I would say that like it between you and I think it's like I love all of Series 5 but leading up to this, but the Time Crisis trilogy is just something else entirely. I think we really elevated things for that. And part three, I mean, where it all comes together is exemplary. It's going to be an exemplary experience. I mean, it was exemplary experience filming it,
Yeah.
and we've done so much of it, and then there were so many difficult scenes that we did, and that some of which you can see in the trailer, but there are many more things that no one has seen yet that are absolutely brilliant, and I can't wait for everybody to see it and view the trilogy as its own beast like one to three, because it is probably one of the like I hope it'll go down as like one of the best projects that we've ever done, and I think it deserves to be like that because you have been putting like a magnificent amount of effort into it, and it really does show and like over the edits in the first two parts with like it does not look easy at all. And of course, I mean, the elephant in the room being the amount of time it's taken, obviously, but you still pushed through and we've still gotten it done. And the fact that we've still managed to get this gargantuan project, like from episode 1 to episode 9, done all this way, I think is something that we should all be extremely proud of. Like, Meg should be extremely proud because oh my God, the performance that she puts in that episode, it's on another level. And like, Ben as well. Everybody brings their A game, and Jesus, and James does so many things at the same time. It's mad. But yeah, we've all done just such brilliant things in that episode. I just really hope people enjoy it because it is. I think it's stunning.
You heard it from the man himself. Thank you so much for just like, coming on here and just having a little chat. It's been nice to sort of just sit down and have a little
Uh,
vibe.
Absolutely, it's been fun. and hopefully the episode will be fun. Well, maybe not fun, maybe just guttural and just absolutely intense and scary and everything, and it makes everybody feel like but hopefully it'll also be fun.
Yes, we'll have to do another one of these after Time Crisis Part 3's come out, where we can just tell everyone everything.
Yes, exactly. Just
Yeah,
actually
oh
talk
my,
about it properly.
talk about this at last.
Be such a weight off the shoulders.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining, and yeah, just for everything. I say I'm so proud of everything you've done in this series,
Mm.
and I am very blessed to sort of have like yourself and Meg and Ben and all this amazing team. So
Mm.
yes, thank you ever so much for everything you've done as the Purple
Uh,
Doctor. And
and thank you for everything that you've done behind the scenes, putting it all together and everything. And it's just been a brilliant to watch the end result and be like, holy hell, we did that.
yeah, that's the thing. We can look back on this and just be like, we did that.
Yeah, that is going to be the thing we take away and just be like, yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So thank you ever so much for everyone tuning in and watching this video. Please remember to subscribe to this channel, to like. We've got so much more of this content coming. We've also got a Patreon. We've got YouTube members, lots and lots of goodies.
Don't forget to click below and
Absolutely.
subscribe to the official DW2012 YouTube channel.
Yeah, so thank you very much, everyone, for watching, and we will see you on the next one. Bye
Bye
for
bye.